He is named for a San Antonio legend. And as he just experienced one of the biggest nights of his young life, it's safe to say he's making a mark in his own right. Maybe it's fitting that he's named as the result of a bet, because you're about to meet a young man who's pretty easy to bet on. A simple yell that for just about every San Antonian takes you back to a moment. And while most of us react in some sort of way to Charles Barkley's now famous yell, this young man simply reacts.
Wherever he goes, he always gets the Ginobili.
And like everyone just turns to me.
Meet Ginobili.
A proud name to have, and of course in basketball I wore his number 20, so.
Yes, named for Manu Ginobili, this Ginobili was on his way into the world in the summer of 2003.
At that time, I couldn't really decide on a definite name. I wanted something different. I wanted something uncommon.
Different and uncommon. Words that perfectly describe the Spurs rookie who was forging his way into the hearts of San Antonians that NBA season. And so when the Silver and Black fell in a big hole in Game 3 of that second-round playoff series against the three-time defending champion Lakers,
I was telling my mom and them, I was like, oh my God, they're going to lose, you know, they're not going to win, you know. And they're like, no, you can't give up on your Spurs. And I was like, no, they're not going to win. And then all of a sudden somebody mentioned, well, if they win, you should name him Ginobili. And I'm like, Ginobili.
My grandma said that she got a piece of paper, she wrote it down in ink, that if the Spurs won the championship, my name would be Ginobili. And my mom and grandma both signed the paper.
So, of course, on Father's Day, on the 16th, when they won, right away my mom turns to me and she goes, that's it. His name is Ginobili. You have to name him Ginobili. Remember what you said if they won? And I was like, oh, okay. So I thought about it and I was like, well, it's unique in its own way. Nobody's going to have his name.
A little more than 2 months after the Spurs won their second title, San Antonio had a second Ginobili. Vanessa believes her son is the first to take after the last name of the then blossoming Spurs legends.
I know my doctor was very excited, and so was the doctor that was on call. It was actually going to be her last day there, and she was going to go back to California. So they were very excited that they were able to bring a Ginobili into the world.
9 months later, Ginobili met Ginobili.
I think they were in the playoffs again around that time too. So they were doing autographs at the HEB off of Goliad in military, Southeast Military. I was working at the time, but my grandfather, which is Ginobili's great-grandfather, happened to go into the grocery store that day, and they were setting up, you know, blocking stuff off, and he happened to ask, what's going on, and they were like, oh, Manu Ginobili's gonna be here later to sign autographs. So he calls my grandmother, which she's taking care of him at home while I'm at work, and they call me and they're like, well, your grandpa went and stood in line. You have to have a ticket. They said you can bring one item to get signed. So of course, us being like, well, his name is Ginobili, we took baby pictures. We took a little basketball. We took a bigger photo of his birth picture, from the hospital. They come to find out that there's, little Ginobili in the line, and everybody's just really excited. So when he gets up to the table, they're like, okay, ma'am, only one item. And some lady's yelling in the back, yeah, but his name is Ginobili. Come on, let her sign something else. So, of course, he signed a little basketball. He signed his baby picture. We exchanged pictures.
And as Ginobili's grown, he's done so into a young man that sounds an awful lot like, well, Manu Ginobili.
He's very well-rounded. He's very polite. Everybody that I've come across, they're like, you have a really great kid. And it's not because it's just mom, but I get the compliments from other people. So that's what, makes me really believe that he's just humble.
In the top 25% of his class at Jefferson High School, Ginobili has played varsity golf since he was a sophomore. He's also in the band, involved in several extracurricular activities, and does volunteer work, like when he assisted before and during middle school track meets for the San Antonio Independent School District. Ginobili just wrapped up a senior year in which he schooled virtually the entire way, not by preference, but because of a sense of duty.
I had the say of what I wanted to do, either go to school or if I wanted to stay at home. I wanted to stay at home. I just wanted to be on the safe side because I have my little baby sister, my grandma too, and then I go visit my great-grandparents. So I didn't want me to be the cause of getting everyone sick.
Ginobili Covarrubias.
Ginobili graduated last night, an accomplishment that for everyone else in his family has meant the end of the educational road. But different and uncommon, Ginobili will be the first in his family to attend the university.
It makes me more happy because I get to show my mom that she could be proud of me to all of the accomplishments I did, even my grandma and my great-grandparents too, because my great-grandparents, my grandma, and my mom and my stepdad are the ones that motivated me the most. So I'm just really excited to graduate.
It makes me extremely proud, and not only that, but he is actually the first great-grandchild on both sides of my family, on my mom's side and my dad's side. So he's going to be the first at a lot of things in the family.
Ginobili hopes those firsts include a stint in the FBI as a forensic analyst. It would be a career spent asking and answering some tough questions. So we threw one his way now. 18 years later, if he could ask the man for whom he's named any question, what would it be?
Depends how long I have, but if I had all day with him, then of course I'll be asking him all these questions. But what did you feel when a mom said, "Oh, I'm gonna name my kid after you"? Like, what did he feel? That's the only question I have for him. And it would be nice to meet him, so yeah.
Meet him again.
Yeah, meet him again.
As a member of Jefferson's golf team, Ginobili helped the Mustangs to the program's first district title since 1999. Yeah, not only the year the Spurs claimed their first title, but the same summer they drafted Manu Ginobili.